I've grown up by the sea. My parents introduced me to the sea very early in life. I think I was only a baby, and we were just by the sea all the time. And I had this real affinity with the ocean and all water, actually. I got passionate about the plastic debris thing while living in Norway for the last 21 years. I had a kayak over there and I was paddling around Bergen Harbour quite often, and every time I went out I'd be picking up plastic out of the harbour, some which looked like it had just been thrown in there.
Anthony Hill is a man on a mission to educate Australians about the damaging effects of plastics on our beaches and in the ocean. But he's doing it in an unconventional way.
Countless studies have shown that if you can find a fun way of engaging the population to show about a serious problem, to draw attention to a serious problem, you'll have far more success.
So, I'm going to start with a question.
Anthony is running family trivia nights, touring the east coast of New South Wales to engage audiences in actively changing the way we treat plastic waste.
It's not about banning plastic, it's about thinking about your plastic consumption.
In his research, Anthony has found that the effects of lazy disposal and lack of recycling is in turn affecting our health.
Plankton have now been shown to have plastic inside them. Plankton are at the bottom of our food chain. They kind of drift along and they just suck in anything that's there, microplastic. So then the bigger thing eats the plankton, and then the bigger thing eats that thing, and then we're at the top of the food chain.
The danger of plastics on our beaches can be seen in the scary realities of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, one of the 5 gyres hoarding the rubbish of continents in swirling masses in the middle of our oceans. UNSW oceanography researcher Eric Van Sibbel studies the ocean currents that act as routes for plastic to travel.
Most of the plastic that has gotten into the ocean is still around somewhere in the ocean, and a lot of it actually floats onto the surface of the ocean. And the way that the ocean works, actually currents move plastic around and they move it into what we call the garbage patch. It's essentially one giant accumulation of all the plastic. And it's these microplastic that stay there in this garbage patch and just keeps on growing and growing as we put more and more plastic into the ocean.
Eric has found that countries like Australia, although far from the patch, could be contributing directly to it.
So what we found is that all these garbage patches are much more connected than we ever thought, and that our Australian plastic can be found as far as the North Atlantic, for instance.
So how is trivia the solution? How can we be proactive in changing actions and attitudes of recycling plastic? Anthony's goal is for statewide and eventually nationwide implementation of a container deposit scheme, through which citizens can recycle and receive a monetary reward.
So far, only South Australia have a mandatory container deposit scheme, and recently South Australia was voted the cleanest state in Australia, funnily enough. So basically I'm getting people to sign letters at all my trivia nights, and I'm dumping them on the desks of all the local members of parliament, telling them to support container deposit schemes in there when it comes up for parliament.
Hello, it's me again.
Eliza Gill, member of the Student Council at UNSW, is encouraging of sustainable options for waste, like the reverse vending machine that can be found on campus.
It's a really good initiative that has been running for about 2 years. It basically allows students to put in their used bottles and then they get coupons out of it, which they can use to buy food on campus.
However, she believes cities and states should get behind container deposit schemes in the future.
It's been really good on a university level, but I think that Sydney really needs to up their game with recycling because it's so important for the environment.
So in between the quiz questions of NRL stars and the songs of Frozen, Anthony's message is loud and clear.
The ocean is our front yard, our backyard and everything, so we shouldn't be allowing the desecration of that beautiful ocean, which I don't think a lot of people realise is amazingly important to our entire existence. If the ocean wasn't there, we wouldn't be here for much longer.